Hey guys, David with the Herald Group here. We are back with our aceable.com real estate education course journey. We are on section 1, Intro to Modern Real Estate Practice. Currently, we are about to start chapter 8, and we've only got one more chapter after 8, and then there's a summary, and then we take our first practice exam. Let's get started.
Chapter 8, The Purpose of Licensing Laws. What a license holder can and cannot do.
All right, chapter 8 is done. So in chapter 8, we talked about what an agent can and can't do, codes of ethics, things of that nature. They didn't give any practice questions on it, but anytime there's a date, I always assume they're going to test you on it. So I'm going to read you some info. In 1939, Texas passed the Real Estate Dealers License Act. Before this was passed, there were really no laws governing what an agent for property sale could do. So somebody could come along and sell a house, and by the time the paperwork went through, find out they've sold that house 2 more times to 2 other people, and there really wasn't much you could do about it. This is notable that it was the first legislation requiring a sales agent to be licensed. The enforcement and oversight of the act was initially handled by the Texas Secretary of State. However, in 1949, the Texas legislature established the Texas Real Estate Commission to assume enforcement and responsibility of the act. Let's talk about what an agent can and can't do. Let's start with what an agent has to do. You have to keep your license up to date in an active status. You have to keep continuing education requirements up to date. Stay current on all fees to the Texas Real Estate Commission. Only practice real estate under the sponsorship of an active broker. Always disclose agency relationships to customers and other license holders. Provide customers with information about brokerage services form when required. Be fair and honest to all parties, whether customer or client. Perform fiduciary duties for a client and disclose if a license holder has relatives that will be involved in the transaction. There's a lot more than that, but that's kind of the high level description of what you have to do. Now let's talk about what you cannot do. You cannot commit fraud or misrepresentation. So fraud is knowingly telling somebody a non-truth. So if you say this house is in great shape when you know for fact that there is significant termite damage. Now misrepresentation can be there's some termite damage, but it's not very much, when in actuality it's quite significant and you didn't know, but you told them that it wasn't bad. Practice without a real estate license or a sponsoring broker. Fail to inform TREC if you have committed a felony. Fail to notify TREC of an address or email change. Fail to do any of the items under what a license holder must do, or commit acts of negligence or carelessness. And the big one, they brought this up multiple times in several ways, do not give legal advice. You are not an attorney, and if you give anybody legal advice, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. When you don't know, say, that's a question for your attorney, and let them worry about it. All right, that's chapter 8. Let's keep the journey moving.